Conservative MP Gillian Keegan, originally a Rory Stewart supporter until he was knocked out, joins us from the House of Commons. Thanks very much for joining us, Gillian Keegan. You were, as I say, a Rory Stewart supporter. Where do events leave you tonight?
Well, I mean, the same process I went through, really, which is looking for somebody that has an honest approach to analyse the situation that we're actually in right now vis-à-vis Brexit, somebody who's got a realistic proposal based on all the things that we've been discussing, such as the parliamentary arithmetic, the makeup of Europe, what they've said, etc., and somebody who's just willing to have a straight conversation and tell it like it is. It's super important now that I think that we don't, once again, overpromise and underdeliver.
So that leaves you with whom?
That leaves me looking at these two candidates, waiting for the answer. I mean, right now, there isn't any point in me kind of declaring, how I voted in the MP election, because, Rory was out. The next day, there was two through. But the reality is, right now, that's over to the members. I will, as a member, have a vote, and I'm still looking for the detail. Both are kind of saying they're both trying to, in a way, dance to the tune of the political weather that's been set by Nigel Farage, which is just this slogan that, no deal can happen with, what do they call it, a clean Brexit, an orderly, calm WTO Brexit. All of this is nonsense. They're trying to pretend that something can be done very easily without any impact at all, or very little impact at all. And people, of course, if they want to hear that, will vote for it. But it's wrong. It's incorrect. It doesn't exist.
Well, now, there is this talk, particularly amongst the Dominic Grieve faction, that should it come to it, they would actually vote against the government if they attempted to leave the European Union without a deal. Would you be one of those?
Well, I mean, I would hate the thought of having to vote against my own government, absolutely. But I think what's required is, if somebody wants to leave without a deal on the 31st of October, having tried everything else and thinks that's the best thing, fair enough. Give me the plan, give me the detail, give me the mitigation strategy, you be honest with the public, which sectors are going to be impacted, how are we going to overcome some of those impacts. If there's a proper plan in place, then I'll look at it. But if it's just a slogan, oh, we're just going to go WTO, well, no, you can't. That would be highly irresponsible for any government to do that. And by the way, I'm pretty sure a Conservative Prime Minister would not do that.
But what do you make of the YouGov poll, which finds that 83% of Tory members don't even want any kind of negotiation? They just want to leave immediately on a no deal.
It's because they think it's possible. They think it will have very little impact. They even think that there'll be upside. The sunny uplands are coming, etc. Because we're all being, there's been a lot of slogans from politicians that have been actually saying the opposite things. People are very confused. Nobody's been really honest with the public. That's why I supported Rory. He was very honest and said, look, we're going to have to deal with the situation as it is. The withdrawal agreement is there. It's 600 pages. It's taken 3 years to negotiate. It's got a lot of detail. It's actually not that controversial, although you would think it was the worst deal in history. It isn't. Well, and he was basically saying, go back to this.
Let me ask you a final question then. It seems that to follow Boris Johnson, you need to get inside the paywall of the Daily Telegraph. Is that really an adequate way to be representing your campaign?
No, and I actually think there's been talk of debates and talk of more debates. The Prime Minister of the country is going to have to be on his hind legs, day in, day out, defending our country all over the world, dealing with very complex things in the glare of the media, in the glare of social media. So you better get used to it now.
Well,